Before we continue with the call to worship, the Christian Appalachia Project has a presentation they would like to present. Say hello while I get on the streets.
Hello, everybody. Could all the cat people come on up front? Yeah, sit here and you can see the screen closer and you turn around and we identify everybody. The people that went to Kentucky to McCreary County were John and Lynn Heil, Kathy Murray, Tim and Linda Ferguson, Lynn Gregory, my wife, and myself, Kim Reardon and Brian Reardon. Brian's not here today.
Tim.
And I said Tim. And that's it. So what we want to do now is briefly show you some of the efforts that went on down in Kentucky. We were down there for a week, and let me just pull everything up. Here's our crew, and we're standing outside the Parker Lake facility. It's a converted elementary school, right? And this is where we stayed, and Samantha and Carrie, who you'll see in the slides, were our gracious hosts. Yeah. Yeah, if I have any issues.
Yeah, you should.
Here we are in the cafeteria, and this is day one. Day one starts at 6:45 a.m. That almost ended the program right off the bat, starting at 6:45. And we have breakfast, and then this is the common room that we meet for morning pre-information and devotional, and evening devotional at 7:30. Our day, as I said, starts at 6:45. We have our devotional at 7:30 a.m., and then we're off to the work that we have to do. These are our bunks. This is the men's quarters, which was infinitely neater than the women's facilities. And here we are, day one. We are at Julie's house. I don't have Julie's last name, but it's Julie. She's the grandma of Addison and Jeffrey, and she has a son who suffers from Afghanistan war PTSD. And this is what we find a lot with the CAP organization. A lot of homes that we take care of are grandmothers who are taking care of their grandkids. And here we are. We're moving a stoop at Julie's house, and lock, stock, and barrel. We're moving that, and that will soon become later on in the week a deck platform with nice steps that go down from the house. They had a drainage problem. So as you see, they have no gutters on this home. We had to dig a 110-foot trench at the base of the house, 4 feet deep, and it gradually went down to about 1.5 feet down to the street. And this is Kentucky clay and rock, all done by hand. And here we are approaching the street. This is 3 weeks later. We're going I want to say right at the outset that, and I know this sounds a little chauvinistic, the ladies that were on our project team were absolutely fantastic. The work that they did was, I mean, it was almost medieval in its work effort. They were absolutely tireless, and the real work star, I hate to do this, was Lynn Gregory. Lynn Gregory never stopped. She has this big ever-ready pack right there. Unbelievable. And there we are. We're just about, there's about a 4 or 5 foot drop off where I'm standing there at the end, and we're just about done. And here we're in Julie's house, on Julie's deck, and they're doing window replacements. And there's Brian stripping the siding for the windows. And there's Kim impeding Brian's work, trying to get those windows done. There are 4 windows were put in?
Yeah, 4.
4 windows were put in. There's John and the crew working on the windows. They did a fantastic job in record time, really great work. And here we are on the outside again, and again, they're stripping the siding to get the windows in there, as well as making some other changes around the trench area. And yeah, and on day 2, they decided maybe we had enough energy to strip the roof and put a new roof in it, and siding continue on there. And there's Brian and me saying, why are we stripping the roof?
Sitting down on the job.
Sitting down on the job as best as we could. It was really about 85 degrees and about 85% humidity. So, and here is the most unique project that was done by the ladies and Tim, who were underneath the crawl space. Crawl space was never higher than this. And it's a real awkward thing. It's hard clay, all corrugated because of the water that ran under. We were trying to fix a water problem. And they're laying out tarps to put down so they can then put and suspend insulation. They had to put wires up under the crawl space and then stuff insulation throughout the whole house. And it's going to be tough to see, but in one of these pictures, did you guys get the one with the, oh no, you didn't get that. They have cobwebs.
Oh, that was just the last one.
The last one had the
Yeah.
cobwebs? Oh, yeah.
No,
Oh, yeah, the hat. It's a really unbelievable work. And here in Julie's house, they wanted to put a new wall up, actually extend a wall. And they built a wall, the ladies, and that's Al Weaver, one of our 1-year volunteers. People come and volunteer at CAP for a period of, as much as a year. And Al came up from Texas. What a great human being, a real spiritual guy, and a lot of fun. And is that Kim up there? Kathy's up there. Kathy's up there.
See,
I'm seeing these
women
things
did all
before.
the work.
We did.
I'll confess it. They really did. They worked hard. And here they're finishing up the wall. And here we're taking a little bit of a lunch break. Our leaders were Tyler and Kevin, who were really great craftsmen. But it took a while for them to come in and actually dig in and help us. But they really were, they're great human beings, and they do a lot of work with the CAP organization. There's Len doing the final touches on some spackling. And here are the ladies. Now, we split up on Wednesday. Some of us stayed at Julie's house, and some of us went to his house with Beulah and Kearney. And here they're putting post holes, they're digging post holes. I'm going to talk about that at the end of this presentation. They're putting post holes for a deck. Kentucky clay, hard rock, by hand.
There's men with the E.
How many were at Julie's house? How many posts at Julie's house? 6. At the house you're going to see momentarily, we did 34. There they are. Cutting. Look at these ladies go. I'm just so impressed.
We were pretty impressed with our deck also.
And here's Linda and Kathleen. They're carrying the lumber. The lumber. We're now at a new house. We're at Beulah's and Kearney's house, and I'll tell that story in a second. And the lumber and the cement bags, the 80-pound cement bags, were dropped real close to the house, about 120 feet away from the house. So they finally wised up and used a hand cart. And here's John cutting the wood for us on the deck at Beulah's house. And here we are, beginning the post work. This is a rare sight. Note this. This is Lynn standing doing nothing.
That was after they sanded the whole wall.
Yeah. The ladies back there cutting for the deck. Deck's almost done. Nice job, right? You did a nice job. Here comes some of the posts for Beulah's house. Now we're building a long ramp, 100-foot ramp for their house, and there's some of the posts.
Can you tell us why we built the ramp?
Because they needed it. Because their only egress from the house were scattered cinder blocks that they walked down about 5 feet down from the house, and it was
And the husband's backstory?
on Beulah's house.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to do. I said I would get to that. When we get to the dining, and there's what we did at Beulah's house. And that wasn't done. We still had to do some of the balusters in there, but that was in principle. They said they wanted to live. Kearney and Beulah wanted to live outside on that deck. That's how much they loved it, and they were eternally grateful. And here we are, late. I think this is the last evening we were there, and you can't see this well from the slide, but our homeowners came to the last dinner, and Beulah and Kearney were our second house, the last house you saw with the long ramp. Beulah's story is very sad on many levels. She'd been homeless for a great portion of her life. She lived in a place where her bathing was done in a creek. She cleaned herself in a creek next to her little trailer, and that's not where she is now, but that's one way she lived. And then she met up with Kearney, and they kind of saved each other, and they were both faithful and spiritual. Kearney was looking for work. He got a job with a telecommunications company, and he was hired to work on cell towers. And it was 3 months it was 3 months he was working on a cell tower, and he fell 70 feet. And miraculously he survived, but it was a catastrophic injury. It destroyed a great portion of his skull, and his eyesight became virtually blind. And yet he thanks God every day. He's grateful for the work we did. Julie is grateful for the work we've done. Both Julie and Beulah suffer from cancer, and they are still tremendously grateful to God and for all work that we had done there. And there's the whole crew. And now you'll hear a little bit about the CAP organization.
It's a crazy world we live in. Bad news all around. Brothers and sisters, if we're gonna make a difference, we're gonna have to stand our ground and be a drop in the bucket, and a bucket in the pond, and the pond fills the river, and the river rushes on, and every river swells the river until the power can't be stopped, and what becomes a mighty ocean. Started as a job down in Alabama. The lady boarded a bus. The driver said, "You're black, you gotta sit in the back." Rosa said, "I've had enough." She was a drop in the bucket, and a bucket in the pond, and the pond fills the river, and the river rushes on, and every river swells the river until the power can't be stopped, and what becomes a mighty ocean. Started as a job. Great Britain ruled over India, making slaves to the good slave market. Till God they took his people to the ocean. He said, "Look, free salt." He was a drop in the bucket, and the bucket in the pond, and the pond fills the river, and the river rushes on, and every river swells the river until the power can't be stopped, and what becomes a mighty ocean. Started as a job.
That's it. What we're looking for, we're going to send them mission committee sending the CAP organization a powered auger to dig post holes to make their life a lot easier. They have no machinery like that at all. And we're going to send them that, and hopefully we'll be involved with CAP as we move forward in the future. Some of us are committed to going back down there again, and we hope you'll continue to support CAP, and we thank you very much for your support to the Mission Committee for this, and a very special thanks to Kathy Murray, whose dedication over 2 years. Remember, this effort started before COVID, and she kept trying and trying and trying to get us down there, and she did, and her leadership made all the difference in the world, and we thank you very much.